Here are 5 things that are no longer worth your money in 2026. And the first one is quietly draining people faster than they realize. Because the danger is not always the big purchase. Most people notice the car payment, they notice the rent, they notice the vacation, but they do not notice the small payments that hit every month, the little upgrades that feel harmless, the convenience fees that feel normal, and the purchases that used to make sense 5 years ago, but now quietly work against you. And that is exactly why so many people feel like they are making more money than before, but keeping less of it. So today, let's talk about the 5 things that look normal, feel normal, and even seem affordable, but are no longer worth your money in 2026. I'm MotionBiz, and number 1 is paying for every subscription like it still gives you real value. A few years ago, subscriptions felt like a smart deal. $10 here, $12 there, one streaming app for movies, another one for sports, another one for documentaries, one for music, one for cloud storage, one for fitness, one for software, one for productivity, and now even one for artificial intelligence. At first, it feels cheaper than buying things individually, but in 2026, subscriptions have become one of the easiest ways to lose control of your budget, because the business model is not built around what you use, it is built around what you forget. Companies know that if they charge you a small enough amount, you may not cancel. They know you might keep paying for a service you only use twice a month. They know you may sign up for a free trial, get busy, forget about it, and then pay for 3 months before you even notice. And the worst part is that many people do not even know their real monthly subscription number. They guess, they assume. They say, it's probably around $50. Then they open their bank statement and realize it is $200, $300, sometimes more. The problem is not that every subscription is bad. Some are useful, some save time, some help you make money, but paying for everything year-round is no longer worth it. The smarter move in 2026 is subscription rotation. Keep the services you truly use every week, cancel the ones you only keep because you might use them, and rotate entertainment platforms month by month instead of paying for all of them at the same time. If you want to watch one show on one platform, subscribe for 1 month, watch it, then cancel. If you use an AI tool for a project, pay for the month when you actually need it, not for the entire year because you feel like a productive person when the logo sits in your app folder. The new rule is simple. If a subscription does not save you time, make you money, educate you consistently, or give you real enjoyment every week, it is probably not a subscription. It is a leak. Number 2 is buying a brand new car just because you can afford the monthly payment. This one hurts because cars are emotional. A new car feels clean, it feels safe, it feels like progress.
You sit inside, everything smells new, the screen is huge, the financing office makes the payment look manageable, and suddenly a $40,000 decision feels like a lifestyle upgrade. But in 2026, buying a brand new car is one of the easiest ways to pay premium money for something that immediately starts losing value. The issue is not only the sticker price. It is the insurance, the registration, the financing, the dealer fees, the maintenance packages, the add-ons, and the depreciation. Depreciation is the silent cost people ignore because it does not come as a bill. Nobody sends you an invoice that says, your car lost $6,000 this year, but the money is gone anyway. And the most dangerous phrase in car buying is, I can afford the payment. Because the payment does not tell you whether the deal is smart. It only tells you whether the lender found a way to stretch the cost long enough for you to say yes. A lower monthly payment over a longer term can make an expensive car feel affordable while keeping you trapped in debt for years. And if you roll negative equity from one car into the next, you are not upgrading. You are dragging yesterday's bad decision into tomorrow's loan. In 2026, the better move is buying reliability, not status. A lightly used car, a certified pre-owned vehicle, or simply keeping your current car longer can be far more powerful than chasing the newest model. The goal is not to drive the oldest car possible or ignore safety. The goal is to stop treating cars like symbols of success, when financially they are usually depreciating machines. If your current car is safe, reliable, and not costing you more in repairs than a reasonable replacement would cost, the most profitable car decision might be to keep driving it. And if you do need a car, focus on total cost of ownership, not monthly payment. Look at fuel, insurance, repairs, resale value, loan terms, and how long you plan to keep it. Because a car should help you move through life. It should not quietly eat the money that could have built your emergency fund, paid down debt, or started your investment account. Number 3 is food delivery and overpriced convenience meals. This is one of those expenses people defend because it feels small in the moment. You were tired, you worked all day, you don't want to cook. You open an app, pick a meal, and it feels like a $20 decision. But by the time you add service fees, delivery fees, inflated menu prices, taxes, and tip, that $20 meal can turn into $35 or $40 before you blink. And if you do it several times a week, it can become one of the biggest invisible expenses in your life. The problem is not ordering food once in a while.
The problem is when convenience becomes your default. In 2026, convenience is no longer cheap. Companies have spent years training us to expect everything instantly, but instant usually means someone else is doing the planning, the shopping, the cooking, the driving, and the waiting, and all of that gets priced into your order. Even fast food is not the cheap backup plan it used to be. In many places, a basic meal now costs enough that the old excuse of it's cheaper than groceries does not really work anymore. When you compare one delivery order to one grocery trip, the delivery order might not look terrible. But when you compare a month of delivery to a month of simple meal planning, the difference can be massive. This does not mean you need to become a perfect home chef. That is not realistic for most people. The smarter solution is building lazy meals into your life before you need them. Keep frozen meals you actually like. Keep rice, eggs, pasta, tuna, beans, wraps, pre-cut vegetables, or whatever fits your diet and schedule. Have 2 or 3 meals that take less time than waiting for delivery. The goal is not to eliminate every restaurant meal. The goal is to stop paying emergency prices for ordinary hunger. A restaurant should feel like a choice, not a rescue mission, and delivery should be treated like a luxury, not a weekly routine hiding inside your budget. If you spent $300 a month on delivery and cut it to $100, you did not sacrifice your life. You just gave yourself $200 back every month. That's $2,400 a year, and for many people, that is the difference between feeling constantly behind and finally having breathing room. Number 4 is upgrading your phone, laptop, or gadgets every year for tiny improvements. Tech companies are very good at making last year's device feel old. They know how to show you a brighter screen, a slightly better camera, a thinner design, a new chip, a new AI feature, and suddenly the phone in your hand feels outdated even though it works perfectly. But in 2026, the yearly upgrade cycle is becoming harder to justify. Modern phones and laptops are already powerful enough for most people. Unless your device is broken, unsupported, too slow for your work, or genuinely holding you back, upgrading just because a new model exists is usually not worth your money. The difference between a phone from 2 years ago and a new one may matter to a professional creator, developer, photographer, or someone who uses the device to earn money every day. But for the average person scrolling, texting, watching videos, checking email, taking photos, and using normal apps, the upgrade is often more psychological than practical. You are not buying a radically better life. You are buying a new rectangle that does almost the same thing as the old rectangle. And the financial trap is that tech upgrades rarely come alone. You buy the device, then the case, the charger, the insurance plan, the cloud storage, the accessories. Maybe the trade-in didn't cover as much as you expected, and now a simple upgrade becomes a much bigger expense. The smarter rule in 2026 is to upgrade based on problems, not marketing. If the battery is weak, check replacement cost first. If storage is full, clean it. If the laptop feels slow, remove junk, reinstall the system, or upgrade memory if possible. If the screen is cracked and repair costs almost as much as replacement, then maybe upgrading makes sense. But do not let an advertisement convince you that a device is useless just because it's not the newest. Also, consider refurbished or previous generation models. The best value in tech is often not the cheapest device and not the newest device. It is the model from 1 or 2 years ago that still performs well but has already taken the biggest price drop. That is where smart buyers win. They let someone else pay the early adopter tax. Number 5 is buying lifestyle clutter because social media made it look like self-improvement. This one is bigger than people think, because in 2026, spending money no longer looks like shopping. It looks like becoming a better version of yourself. A new planner because you are going to get organized. New workout clothes because you are going to become disciplined. A new desk setup because you are going to become productive. New kitchen gadgets because you are going to eat healthy. New skincare because you are going to glow up. New courses because you are going to change careers. New books because you are going to become smarter. And some of these things can help,
But a lot of them are not real self-improvement. They are emotional purchases wearing a motivational costume. The problem is that people now buy the identity before building the habit. They buy the equipment before doing the work. They buy the aesthetic of discipline without the discipline. And social media makes it worse because every goal has a shopping list attached to it. Want to get fit? Here are the shoes, bottle, smartwatch, supplements, leggings, and gym bag. Want to work from home? Here is the chair, lamp, keyboard, monitor, notebook, and desk plant. Want to start a business? Here is the course, template, software, membership, and mastermind. But buying tools does not automatically create results. In fact, buying too many tools can become a way to avoid starting. It feels productive, but it is still consumption. In 2026, the smartest people are separating tools from fantasies. Before you buy something for a new goal, prove the habit first. Want to work out? Do bodyweight workouts for 3 weeks before buying the expensive gear. Want to cook more? Make simple meals consistently before buying gadgets. Want to start a business? Get your first customer, publish your first offer, or finish your first project before paying for another course. Want to read more? Finish the books you already own before ordering a new stack that makes your room look intellectual. This rule is powerful because it forces your spending to follow your behavior, not your mood.
If you actually stick with the habit, then the right tools can make sense. But if you do not, you saved yourself from buying another object that becomes clutter, guilt, or storage. And that brings us to the real lesson behind all 5 things. In 2026, money is not only about how much you earn, it is about how many systems are trying to quietly take a piece of it. Subscriptions want recurring access to your card. Car lenders want you focused on payments instead of total cost. Delivery apps want convenience to become automatic. Tech companies want normal devices to feel obsolete. Social media wants every emotion to become a purchase. And if you do not pay attention, your money gets divided before you ever make a conscious decision. But the solution is not to become cheap or miserable. The solution is to become intentional. Spend on what actually improves your life. Spend on quality when quality matters. Spend on tools you truly use. Spend on experiences you genuinely value. But stop spending on financial autopilot. Stop buying things because you are bored, tired, influenced, rushed, or trying to become someone through a checkout page. Before you buy anything, ask 3 questions. Will I use this often enough to justify the cost? Is this solving a real problem, or just changing how I feel for 10 minutes? And if I wait 7 days, will I still want it? Those 3 questions can save you from hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars in wasted spending this year. Because the goal is not to cut everything. The goal is to stop funding things that no longer deserve your money. In 2026, the winners will not be the people who buy the most. They will be the people who can tell the difference between value and noise. And once you learn that difference, your budget starts feeling less like a prison and more like a plan.